the top comic books that you need to know about for Monday, March 23rd, 2020. Hey everyone, it's vmcampos. Welcome to another Top Comic Book Picks with vmcampos. Hey, that's me. This is the series where I talk about the comic books that you need to know about this week. So, Monday, March 23rd, 2020 is the final order cutoff date to get the comics that you need. If you don't order your comics by this date, you are not guaranteed to get them. And I'm going to reveal so many great comics, so you've got to tell your comic shop you need these. So head on over to your favorite comic book shops over here, tell them VM Campos sent you, and tell them these are the comics that I need. Now this is the short version of the video. If you'd like the longer version, you can head on over to patreon.com/vmcampos. For $1, you'll access the full version of the video where you get even more picks. But not to worry, I'm still going to show you dozens of picks here. But if you want even more of them, head on over to my Patreon, patreon.com/vmcampos. Let's get on with the show. Alright, so as usual, let's get started with some Marvel comics. I've got here Children of Atom. Now, Previews World, what are you doing with your grammar? The official name of the comic is X-Men, Children of the Atom, and right here it just says Children of Atom. Anyway, if you want to get this one, it's a new number 1. It's coming up right away. It's a $4.99 book. Vita Ayala is the writer, Bernard Chang is the artist, and this is the cover art by R.B. Silva. When did the X-Men get sidekicks? Now. Don't miss the debut of the greatest teenage superhero team of all time. So yeah, another teenage superhero team. This one is a little bit more on par with currently existing characters. I see there a Cyclops analog, a Gambit analog, an Archangel analog, and so forth. So, new number 1 of X-Men coming out if you're interested in it. Moving over to DC Comics, I've got this beautiful Batman 93 cardstock cover by Francesco Mattina. So we've got Harley Quinn looking amazingly deranged. Joker mask and everything, beautiful purple colors, and then like stars and spikes and all of that in purple colors. I'm loving this cover a lot. This is part of the Joker War is Coming storyline, and the cover is just freaking epic. We've got James Tynion IV as writer, and William March as the artist, with Francesco Mattina as covers. So I'm loving this cover. I'm telling you all about it because final order cutoff date is here if you're into the latest issues of Batman. Moving over to Dark Horse. Okay, here's a new number 1, Last Night of St. Hagen, 1 of 4. Writer Mike Mignola, Scott Alley, Andre Muti, art Lee Loffridge, and cover art by Sebastian Fiumara. So, a wily Polish spy pursued by a group of Nazi enforcers flees through the small town of Torun. The year is 1939, the beginning of the German occupation, and he carries important information for the resistance. So it's like a World War II supernatural thing with Mike Mignola on it, various writers and so forth. Seems pretty interesting, very violent cover, but when you kill Nazis, I approve. And this is a first issue number 1 from the world of Hellboy. So if you know a little bit about that, you'll feel right at home here. This is from Dark Horse. Over at Dynamite, I've got this Derek Chu cover for Red Sonja, Age of Chaos, number 4. Eric Burnham is the writer, and Jonathan Lau is the interior artist. But I'm going for this Derek Chu realistic cover, bringing this supernatural creation of Purgatory, this character Purgatory, bringing her to life in a very realistic way. Very impressive. I like the shininess of the gloves and the top and everything, and then like her translucent wings, and then this background is just really epic with a blood squirt down there. Just a haunting face, like this is the last face that you see before you go straight to heck. So this is the one that I'm going for, Derek Chu's cover of Red Sonja, Age of Chaos 4. Moving over to IDW, here's a brand new number 1, Sleeping Beauty's 1 of 10. This is the Annie Wu cover. Rio Yoers is the writer, and Allison Sampson is the artist. Based on the horror novel by Stephen King and Owen King, and adapted by Rio Yoers from Forgotten Girl, with Allison Sampson of Hit Girl and Winnebago Graveyard, with covers by Annie Wu of Black Canary and Hawkeye. A strange sleeping sickness known as Aurora has fallen over the world, and strangest of all, it only affects women. In the small town of Dueling, a mysterious woman has walked out of the woods. She calls herself Eve and leaves a trail of carnage behind her. More mysterious, she's the only woman not falling asleep. So it seems pretty interesting here, this particular plot, and it's by a Stephen King original story. So here's a 10-issue series, Sleeping Beauties over at IDW. Moving over to Boom, the book that I have here is Something is Killing Children, number 7. This is a Final Order Cutoff variant. This is by Emma Rios. I'm not reading the book, to be honest, but I wanted to reveal to you a Final Order Cutoff book that you might be interested in, another variant book. People are interested in variants that are harder to find, and this one is only for Final Order Cutoff. So help get this book printed by ordering your own copy. No description here. I'm not quite sure what's going on in the book, but this cover is epic. It's like visceral, it's weird, it's haunting, and it's Final Order Cutoff due Monday the 23rd. Oni Press brings us Rick and Morty presents Council of Ricks number 1. So Oni Press is about to lose the license for Rick and Morty. They're publishing several books at the very end here, such as the Council of Ricks. Now this says, a long time ago, or, whenever, just not right now. So who knows what particular timeline this is happening, obviously before the death of the Council of Ricks or another dimension, I don't know, who knows. And so here we have a Rick Prime, I suppose, doing fun shenanigans against the Council of Ricks. We've got Jake Goldman, writer, Philip Murray, artist, and this is a Julia Scott cover art. So I think there's a couple different variants on this. Yeah, I'm going with cover B. Cover A is usually good as well. And brand new Rick and Morty. These sell out. These are usually good value, especially issue number 1s. So here you go. This is the one you got to get for Final Order Cutoff. Moving over to some of the smaller publishers, we've got Clover Press. This is Grieveling, The Grieveling, 1 of 2. Writer Steve Niles and art cover artist Damian Worm. From the creative team who brought you October Faction, soon to be a Netflix TV show, comes The Grieveling. Steve Niles and Damian Worm reunite to tell an all-new tale of a supernatural revenge as Lily Baxter returns from the grave after she's killed by a gang of teenagers on Halloween night. But she's no longer just a teenage girl struggling to fit in. Now she has the power of the Grieveling, and when she figures out how they work, the people who've done her wrong may live to regret it, or not live at all. So, cool horror book. It's $7.99. I just noticed that. I don't know how many pages this is. I wish they would give a page count here. But it's 1 of 2. Seems interesting. Price is a little higher than I thought it was going to be, actually. So hopefully I can thumb through the book a little bit to see if it's worth it. But this might be an interesting one if you're into horror. Over at Ablaze, I mentioned this book on a previous video, last week's video, but it seems that the Final Order Cutoff is still open. So this is just another variant cover. This is the regular cover. This is the DDA Cassegrain cover. Robert E. Howard's Conan is brought to life uncensored. Discover the true Conan, unrestrained, violent, and sexual. So we've got dueling Conans at the moment, one at Marvel and one at Ablaze. The market will decide which is the one that resonates, but I think when you go with a smaller company that's a little bit under the radar, you'll be able to do more interesting things. And as we're seeing here, more violent, sexual, and unrestrained. So cover art looks pretty cool. I showed the previous one with Belit, which I liked, and this one I also like it too. I think Conan looks pretty cool and tough here, as well as the Menagerie. So I'm going to get this one from Ablaze. Moving over to Source Point Press, we have Monstrous, See No Evil, One Shot. Gregory Wright as writer and Stefan Schalar artist, as well as Ellie Wright. Everyone knows about the rivalry between Van Helsing and Dracula, but do you know how it really ends? After Dracula blinds and bites Van Helsing bites him back, becoming a sightless crime fighter with heightened senses and unstoppable thirst for blood. So that's interesting, taking Van Helsing, making him vampire-esque, and this seems just like a fun, undead sort of adventure over from Source Point Press. Zeniscope has Monster Planet number 5 of 5. I love this Josh Burns cover. This is sort of in that style of like the realism that we see. It's like this computer-generated realism of characters. I'm not reading this book at all, but Josh Burns' art is always pretty cool. I like this girl here in black. Again, I don't know who these characters are. I guess reading the description might make sense, but I like how she's got the pigtails and then the blood and the lipstick and her pose. It's a pretty cool cover. Say what you will about Zeniscope, but their covers always catch your attention. So there you go, that's the free version of the video. I revealed a lot of great stuff that you might be interested in. If you'd like the longer version of the video, head on over to patreon.com/vmcampos. Right there I'll show you the longer version of the video, even more cool stuff that you'll enjoy. But these things that I revealed to you here, tell them VM Campos sent you. Go to your favorite comic shops, find one right here. Get these books before the final order cutoff date happens, and you won't be disappointed. Don't forget to follow, to like, to subscribe, thumbs up. Tell me in the comments what you thought. Did I miss any books? What else would you get? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to check out the end of the month comic haul. You can actually win stuff there. So just follow over here on YouTube. You'll be alerted to the latest video, and you can watch that comic haul about the comics that I got this month and a chance to win a giveaway. No purchase necessary. So this has been the top comic book picks with VM Campos, and I'll see you next week.